Let's begin by reading the question. Identify the relevant information given to you in the application problem below. Use that information to answer the questions that follow. Round your answers to 2 decimal places as needed. A local pet groomer charges $7.36 for each dog, plus a reservation fee of $10. They wash a maximum of 100 dogs. Let C represent the total cost from the pet groomer, and X represent the number of dogs washed. So first we're asked to calculate C of 10. So before we do that, let's make a function, C, where the input is X because those letters we were given, that represents a situation. So let's define our variables. So X equals the number of dogs washed, and C of X, or C, represents the total cost. So I'm going to write C of X is the total cost for X dogs washed. So notice they're giving us 2 values. This is the value that varies. So $7.36 for each dog. So it's always $7.36 per dog, but it depends on the number of dogs, which is X. So we have 7.36 times the number of dogs, plus a reservation fee of $10. So that does not depend on the number of dogs. It's just a flat fixed fee of $10. So there's our fixed part, and there's our variable part. So now let's find C of 10. C of 10 is 7.36 times 10 in parentheses plus 10. So this would be 73.6 plus 10, which is 83.6, or $83.60. So it would cost $83.60 to have 10 dogs washed. As an ordered pair, we write parentheses, the input value, which is 10, comma, and then the output value, which is $83.60. Now we're asked to complete the following sentence to explain the meaning of 1 and 2. So the cost for having blank dogs washed, well, it was, the input was 10, which was the number of dogs washed. So the cost of having 10 dogs washed is $83.60. Let's look at the next part. Here we're asked to find X when C of X equals 120.4. So this is saying C of X, the total cost for X dogs washed, is $120.40. And we want to find X, the number of dogs washed that amount corresponds to. So let's start with our formula. C of X equals 7.36x plus 10, and we're given that C of X equals 120.40. So we're going to replace C of X with 120.4, the total cost. Now we need to solve this equation for X. And as we do this, let's think about what it means in the context of the problem. So the $10 was the reservation fee, so let's subtract that from the total cost. Subtract that on both sides. 110.40 equals 7.36x. These cancel. And now we know the variable amount, which is 7.36x, or 7.36 per dog, is $110.40. So if we divide both sides by 736, we're finding the number of dogs that can be washed for $110.4. Let's do this on the calculator. 110.4 divided by 736 per dog gives us 15 dogs. So x equals 15. Now we're asked to write our answer as an ordered pair. So we use parentheses. The input comes first, which is what we just found, the 15, comma, then the output, which is 120.4. Now we're going to fill in this sentence to interpret this. If the cost was, well, the cost, C of x, is the output. So if the cost was 120.4, or $120.40, then the number of dogs washed was the input, 15.